What's going on, team? Welcome to an episode of the Keep Going Podcast, Season 2. This is your co-host, Luke Wheat, coming out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Before the show starts, make sure to follow us on our socials, okay? Twitter, the Keep Going Pod, Insta, the KG Podcast, and YouTube at the KG Pod. Just a reminder that we are not psychiatrists and not psychologists, just a couple ex-athletes trying to make a difference and end the stigma of mental health. Thank you guys for listening, and let's get to the show.
That keep going moment.
My keep going moment.
That's my keep going moment.
Let's keep going.
Pat O'Malley with the Keep Going Podcast, athletes shining a light on mental health. We got episode 51. We got Joey Fitzgerald in the house. Joey, we'll introduce you here shortly, but Jackie Tripp's been up for 30 plus hours. Jackie, are we hanging in there?
We're doing all right. We're a little brain foggy, but I'll bring my best today.
You always do. And I want you definitely to talk about what you've been doing for the last 30 hours, and we'll go into that. But we are a man down today. Luke Wheat is a college coach, as most of you guys know, and those schedules get hectic. So shout out Wheat. Safe travels for Luke out there at the NCAA tournament. But before we get into anything, it is episode 51. Joey Fitz, you have a number 51 sports player that we can shout out today.
I don't off the top of my head, no.
Hey, Jackie Tripp, do you have one today?
Ichiro.
I love it.
Oh, that's great.
Ichiro. Yes. I'm going to go out on a whim. I think Randy Johnson might have been 51 as well. So I think it is. Well, hey, regardless, we got some great 51s. We have a great guest with Fitz coming on today. Before we do anything, though, I got to ask you, Fitz, what did you do this week for your mental health?
So what I did this week and what I try and do every day is the gym. The gym is like a huge part of my mental health, I think. It's kind of where I can go and clear my mind every single day. And for me, it's kind of like the escape where I can just go completely like flush whatever's going on, whether like it's the good or the bad. I think the gym just kind of helps me like round out who I am. And then also I would say talking to like just loved ones, like close family back home, because I'm 7 hours away at school. So whenever I have the chance to be able to get on the phone with the people that I'm the closest with, I think that helps keep me sharp between the ears too.
Love that, man. Love that. I think the accountability piece there for knowing that you're not your best without your people and like your habits, your routines. Love that. Jackie, how about you? I got a feeling I know where this is going, but I'll ask you.
Does it have to do with the 30 hours I've been awake?
It might have to. Go ahead.
Yeah, so one, getting outside, but two, the gauntlet's been good. Basically what it is, I'll just explain it now, is we've had Antonella on the pod. She's a Shot for Life. She's with me right now.
Shout out Antonella. She's a homie. Love her.
Go ahead. But we're at a Shot for Life runs various sporting programs. We have hundreds of athletes, and it's a cancer research sports-based nonprofit. So we fund all the immunotherapy trials at Mass General Hospital. And this event raised over $250,000, I think, so far. And we have like over 100 athletes that have all been playing for like 24 hours. We just had a group play through the night, so I've been up since noon. I've been up since like 9 yesterday. Event started at noon, so I've been playing / working it. But good group of people. You know, when you can get a group of people together that love sports and hate cancer, it's always a good thing.
No doubt. And I love you for that. That's just who you are to a T. You know, the charity stuff is great. I love how you've been up for 30 hours doing your thing. But how have you been playing? I think the people need to know.
my jumper's still there, but my knees are giving out a little bit. I was like, I got to take it easy if I want to work this week.
I'm about to say, you're a warrior. Jackie Tripp just always out there impacting the world. So love you, girl. Keep doing your thing there. And definitely need one of those hoodies too, for real.
Oh, yeah, you need one.
No doubt. Cool. Well, I appreciate you. On my end, nothing too crazy this week. I'm actually having the fellas over for some football. I've been working pretty I can't believe I'm even mentioning Jackie's work ethic, but I've been kind of trying to match her energy. I've been working Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, trying to save up for Christmas and different stuff that I'm looking to do in 2024. But today, I took a half day. I'm hanging out with the fellas. Everyone's coming out for football at my place, which I need it. I need to see my guys. I need to watch some football and enjoy it. So all good things so far from this group. But to kind of keep us moving, I do want to be conscious of your time, Fitz. Talk to me, man. Obviously, you're a baseball guy. You've been in the game for a long time. You're an athlete, someone that people looks up to. Why did you feel like you were a good fit for the pod today?
That's a great question. And I don't know. I think I've been through it all of all levels of baseball, from high school to junior college to the program I'm at right now. And I will be transferring at semester 2 to a different school. So I don't know. I feel like I've been up and down, like the highest and the lowest levels of baseball. And I just kind of have a lot of insight to a lot of like different things that that go with the whole keep going, which is like one of my favorite things that you guys preach and talk about and everything like that. And a lot of insight to just like how to keep doing that with some things that have gone on in my career.
No, I love it, man. I think the cool thing about our show and what we do on this podcast is hearing so many unique and different things, right? Like this is not cookie cutter. You don't just wake up one day, I'm a student athlete, everything's going to go peachy keen, right?
Right.
So I think the cool thing for you is you're already going into it. So tell me about a young Joey Fitzgerald when you started loving this game, and get me to now. Just walk me through a brief timeline there.
Right. So young Joey Fitzgerald probably started playing T-ball at 5 or 6 years old, like every baseball player does, and kept playing up through, I think, 8th grade, where had my dad as the coach a little bit to get me to love the game.
Shout out, Pops. Shout out your Pops.
Shout out, Dad. He's a big reason where I'm where I am today. Kept playing. Went to Marion Central Catholic High School. Kind of was in an environment where baseball wasn't really the most important thing going on at that school. But kept playing. Kind of got told that I was too small, wasn't big enough, all these things. Then I didn't have any college baseball offers coming out of high school. So I walked on at Harper College, where I met Adam, which shout out Adam, just going down the list, making my rounds.
Yep.
Where I met Adam, who's like a brother, and I was at Harper for 3 years, just kind of totally just trying to become a different person, like a baseball player, like human being, to become the best version of myself, because I just had high aspirations for wanting to play at the highest level. And I was fortunate enough to become like a junior college All-American one of my years at Harper. And then I started obviously looking for 4 years after that. And with a lot of help from my parents, my family, my coaches, and God, I ended up at Central Methodist, where I've been for the last year and a half. And then kind of throughout this fall, some things happened here. And it just, I don't know, some things happen here where you're not in the best environment for yourself and you need to make a change. And so that's what I'll be doing next semester. And I'm currently searching for another school to go play at next semester.
No doubt. And I want to touch on a couple of things there. One, you mentioned your dad early on was a big piece of this. I can sense that family and faith, and we'll go into this.
Yeah.
Talk about your dad's role in this. Talk about your family's role in this real quick.
So yeah, my family, I mean, and not even just my dad, my mom, great. And then I have 2 siblings that also compete at a very high level in college athletics. My sister playing softball and my brother wrestling here at CMU. I don't know. I've always grown up where family has just been like the center. Like at the end of the day, family's all you have. So when I have people that want great things for me, pushing me, telling me that I can do great things, I think you truly believe that when you surround yourself with the right people, not even just being your family. But when I have that, I feel at a young age being told to me, you really believe what you can do and the impact you can make with the work and the people that are around you.
No, I love it, man. And it's one of those things, right? When you have those dark days, having someone to go to, like your dad, like your boys, having people to fall back on. So when you're not at 100%, you can still carry on and do your best that day. I think that's big. Another thing you mentioned was your faith in this. And I think in my own journey, my faith has kind of come on stronger later in my career than when I was a player. Walk through for our listeners about the faith piece of this for you.
Yeah, again, I couldn't agree more with that. As I've gotten older and matured throughout my college athletics, I would say the faith has definitely become more prevalent. And it's definitely something that I want to say I didn't totally take it for granted, but I didn't make it like a centerpiece of what it really is because I grew up in a Catholic school my whole life. So, like, the faith background was always there. And then for the first time, I come away to college here and I'm in a situation where I'm meeting new people, adjusting to new teammates, like with new coaches and everything like that. And I think really being able to fall back on knowing that God has my back in all this too, and that He also wants me to succeed at a high level, and that when I can truly like give myself to Him and believe in what He's gonna do for me, I think He kind of just takes the reins on a lot of it too, and He works through me as I have my faith in Him. So.
Yeah, strong. I think having that higher power, if it's your religion, the universe, whatever you believe in, knowing that things are bigger than you, I think goes a long way and is important for our listeners as well. Jackie, anything to add on this?
No, just back when you touched on family, I like that, and just having people around you that like reinforce those confident thoughts that you need to sometimes be reminded of. Even when I first came on the pod, I had been on as a guest, but I'd never been on as a host before. I was nervous, and like I was reminded like how important positive reinforcement is, because when Pat and Luke were like complimenting me and giving me that confidence, like I needed that. And sometimes you do need it from other people. So it's important to have those people around you to lean on. So I like that you touched on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's all about approach too. Being in a situation right now at work where I have some people that they're not under me. Nobody's under me, but like I have a team that relies on me in some capacity. And being able to have those conversations like, yo, Fitz, you're crushing this. But knowing the goals that we've set and the expectations that we've talked about,
Right.
Let's try this. And I'm not saying you got to stick to it, but try this. Keep trial and error, keep winning and losing, and keep working. Building that trust, knowing what kind of makes someone tick and gaining that credibility helps. So when you have people like that in your corner, I can say to Jackie, hey, chime in. Like, you're great. Or like, I can say to Luke, do this with this because I believe in you. I think there's an approach and a feel to that, man. And I'm glad that we touched on that for people that might not be athletes, people that are working 9-to-5 jobs. I think having constructive criticism, but the approach and the feel is big. Jackie came off. Go ahead.
No, yeah, it's just there's a quote. It's from I forget some sort of author, but it's like show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Just like who you are, like surrounded by. Just spot on.
Oh, absolutely.
So. That's it. No, that's it. Well, Fitz, I appreciate it, man. I'm loving this 15 minutes in, so I will keep us moving. But baseball is one thing, right? I talk about all the time that baseball and sports is a microcosm to life. I think a lot of these habits, a lot of these routines, these lifestyle changes affect you 40, 50 years down the road. And I find myself now at 28 going, thanking my coaches for the good, the bad, the indifferent. Talk about what baseball has meant to you from a life perspective and how you plan to use that in a future career. What are you looking to do?
Awesome. So I'm studying sports management right now at school, and I want to go into coaching. I don't see myself kind of leaving the baseball realm. I don't know. I've fallen so far in love with it as I've gone to college, and just all the little things that go into it. I hope that I can kind of give back some of the knowledge and the things that I've retained to some people to help them achieve their goals down the line. And then from a life standpoint, I just think baseball teaches you so many lessons every single day that aren't even necessarily like baseball lessons. Like, it's something that happens on the field, but it's something that could just as well be applied in life. And I think the ups and downs and the things you have to go through and the whole mentality, because baseball is arguably one of the toughest games. I mean, you succeed 3 times out of 10 and you're one of the greatest players of all time. So I think
Right.
with the ups and downs that the game gives you and the mental and the fortitude you need and kind of that champion mentality, is that's something that I'm going to be able to carry over myself in the work ethic aspect too of my future career of working. And it's something that I hope to be able to pass down to all those other kids that I'm hopefully able to coach one day as well.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jackie.
I was going to mention what you said about how we had a conversation with somebody once. We were talking about like what the toughest sport is mentally. We came down to baseball because of what you said. Like the best hitters in the MLB only like hit 3 out of 10 times. Like they're not even, the best guys aren't batting over 500. And it's like when you make an error in baseball, like I'm a basketball player. Like you make an error in basketball, hockey, like so fast paced, people forget about it. It's the next play.
Right.
Baseball, you miss a pop fly, you throw a bad pitch, it's all out in the open. Like that's all that's going on. So do you have any tips? Like what has helped you stay mentally sharp because of how tough it can be in baseball?
You wonder Fitz why we tell Jackie to ask questions. Go ahead.
Right. No. I would say at that point, it's all about just kind of looking for the next opportunity. Like, obviously it sucks. And then the more that I've matured as an athlete, it's like when I mess up or you don't do like what you're supposed to do, maybe in a certain situation, or you don't execute, is like as easy it is to just sit there and dwell on it and be like upset about it or whatever, or just kind of where that is. The biggest thing for me has been able to just kind of flush what's happened. And I can't really tell you exactly how I've been able to do that. I think it's just a maturity thing as an athlete over time that I've been able to do that. But looking for that next opportunity, knowing that I'll be able to succeed in that next moment, is what kind of keeps me going when I'm down.
Yeah, I'm going to stay there. I'm going to make you go into it if you don't mind for that maturity piece. I'm going to make it because I think there's great stuff here. I think you're a guy over the last 4 years since I've known you that you've just come a long way as a person, not only as a player, which I know it, man. You've come a long way as a player, but as a person. That's why you're on the pod today. You could be a great student athlete. You're here because you're a great person. Anything that you do in your daily routine stuff, anything that you do in your daily life that you think listeners and student athletes could get value out of?
I think it's just about building a routine. Like, I think when you can build a routine, or maybe not have it mapped out from like the exact time you're going to do something, but when you kind of wake up and you have a plan for the day and you can truly attack that plan and kind of go down your list of what you got to get done and what you got to do. Or let me rephrase that. Not what you have to do, what you get to do that day, or what you want to do. When you're choosing things that you want to do and you can attack them in that way, I think that's how you can kind of become the most successful, like a plan. Because something my dad used to always say too is, I think it's a goal without a plan is a wish. So if you don't have anything written down or you don't have anything to reference off of, I feel like, I don't know, it's kind of a mess. And when you have stuff to go off of, you can make a lot happen.
Yeah, I'll let Jackie go, but I think Ed Milet talks about it all the time about how if you can have a game plan and goals better than the average person in this day and age, you're unstoppable.
Yeah.
And I always thought about that because I was a guy that went through life probably the first 25 years, which is terrifying. First 25 years of my life with no plan, living off short bursts, living off short satisfaction, living off short pleasures across the board. And then it's crazy to think that I was still standing after that, but that's just what normal people have kind of gotten to that habit of doing. If you can set up a plan, get organized, do a little bit of this thing at a time, you are a dangerous human being and you're going to reach a lot of these goals that you just touched on, which is why you're succeeding now, right? Jackie, go ahead.
Yeah, to piggyback off what you guys are saying too, I listened on Chris Williamson mention this on his podcast. Like, yeah, I have a plan, but like further this discussion, like take action, because writing it down isn't doing it. Like saying you're gonna do it isn't doing it. Making a grocery list isn't actually going to the store. Like I think we live in a society today where there's so much content out there, and it's like you're so overwhelmed by like what I'm gonna do. So it's like, should I do this workout, this or that people like want to plan it out, which is good, but people forget too that action comes before the confidence. Like people come up with these like huge plans when it's really, like Luke likes to say, it's simple, not easy. So yeah, break down a plan that works for you, not that works for the person next to you, like person sitting like in front of you. Like if you can have one goal and like what's it called, like SMART goals, like you break it down and then you just go. Like don't harp too much on how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it. Make a simple plan and then take action, and then confidence and flow and habits like come from that.
That's it for sure. And I think it all kind of goes back to like the identity that you create for yourself. Like I think for a long time, myself, Jackie, Luke, we identified as student athletes. We identified as players. We identified in sports. So I guess that kind of triggers my next question for you. What's your identity at this piece? Like, what do you identify as like in this life going forward?
So obviously I know what you just said too, because I feel that sometimes where I just kind of catch myself as a student athlete and that aspect where I live in that realm. And again, I haven't gotten out of that realm yet, but I will sit down and kind of think about things sometimes. And I'm like, this isn't really all I am. Like, this isn't all that I have to offer. So I guess I would just try and identify myself as a good human being. I think if I can be like the best possible human being to people around me, whether or not it's in the sports aspect or just in life, like as a person. And at the end of the day, if I can just go out, like when we all die someday, if I die and people around me just know that I live my life as a good human being, like for other people, it's like, that's what I want to be identified as.
I'm dropping it. Run that back. I think that is fantastic because, like, I think we all get wrapped up in it. Like, I'm an employee at my company. I'm a sports fan. You're a student athlete, a coach. At the end of the day, we identify as a good person. We identify as someone that changes lives, and we're here to do that. We're not just here to work a job, work out, and die. I talk about that quote all the time. But Jackie, anything here? I love that, man. That's great.
I like that too, and that also like goes with the notion of people give themselves so many titles, and that creates so many differences and barriers between people. If people were to focus more on just being good people versus what their so and so title is, I think the world would have a lot less issues.
Yes. I loved your quote the other day in APs when you talked to that guy, right? Like that was powerful, right? If you work hard, I think it's along the lines, if you work hard and you're a good person, that's half the battle. That's it. You're going to live an amazing life. So amazing. All right, Fitz, we're coming up on the half-hour mark. I think you probably have an idea what's coming here. So I got to ask you, what's your keep going moment at this point? Something that should have probably taken down the average folk, but you got through it, man. Talk to our audience, talk to our listeners. Tell us today.
So my keep going moment, I would say, is honestly a little more recent. So like I had said, I'm making a change here at the semester. CMU, I love this place. There's a lot of good people here and everything like that. But it just, over the last couple months, started to get to a very like toxic level with some things that just I can't surround myself with. We kind of talk about the mental health and everything like that. And it was getting to the point where I was falling out of love with baseball a little bit in some certain aspects. So I had to kind of sit down and reevaluate my situation and talk with my family, obviously talk with God and talk with some of my closest friends and everything like that. And it was kind of getting to the point where I wasn't really sure if I was going to go play after the semester or what was going to happen. And just, I kind of had to sit back down and think about everything that I've gone through up until this point, even in junior college, with Adam through high school, everything like that. And I just know that there's more for me. And I know that I've come this far that I can't throw in the towel now. I got to see this thing out to the end. So
Yeah, man. Powerful stuff. Powerful stuff. I love it. Jackie, what do you got?
Can you hear me?
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah. No, I like that, and I'd say it's. I want to hear, because just like I don't know you as well as Pat knows you, but I want to hear a little more. You've mentioned Adam a few times. Like, shout out Adam a little more for us.
I couldn't say enough good things about that guy. And so I'm the oldest in my family. It's me. I have a younger sister and I have a younger brother. In the last 4 years of my life, Adam's a guy that's kind of taken over like a big brother role for me. He's not just like a coach or a mentor, but like that guy is truly family. And I love that guy so much. And he's done so much for me. Just always being there for me. He's been a phone. He's been a number that I could call at any time. He picks up whatever advice, not even just baseball, in life. A call, just how's your day? I meet him out for lunch, all this stuff. So, I mean, that's a guy that's been in my corner just as much as anyone else over the last couple of years. And I couldn't be more grateful to obviously have him. And then through him, I got to meet Pat, and Pat's just as good as his brother. So it's when you get two guys that are just like that and bring the most positive energy all the time, and they want to see you succeed and are willing to go the extra mile to help you succeed, you can't ask for more.
Fitz, that's it. And I'll let Jackie go too. I'll go on my kind of tangent. It's easy with guys like you. It's easy to see guys and girls, of course, that put in the work, that care, that want to be around people to get better. I think I talk about this quote all the time, that we take bits and pieces of the good and the bad from everybody that we meet. And I think Adam, when I started this journey, was a huge part of my journey, but it wasn't only just Adam, it was the people that came with it. Right. So if you're a listener on here today that is saying, but Pat, but Fitz, Jackie, I don't have anybody like that. Start putting yourself in those rooms. Mm-hmm. Start going out and doing it. And I know it's hard. I know it's uncomfortable. I promise you, you're one room away from meeting that best friend, from meeting that mentor, from meeting that partner, from meeting someone that in a million years you never knew you'd connect with. I did not know that me and Jackie Tripp were going to be best friends a year ago.
Right.
I met her in passing through a friend of a friend from my girlfriend, and she is now my podcast at one point, now a co-host, like, and a best friend of mine. You don't know unless you put yourself in those rooms. So for our listeners, I know that can be uncomfortable. Do it. You never know. And Fitz, I love you, man. I always got your back. Go ahead, Jackie.
And do it when it's hard too. Like, I know when I have down days, it's like I try and do my best to reach out to people, but it's the most important on those days, because you never know when someone's going to lift you up. Like, do it when it's hard too. Don't just reach out to people when like you're feeling confident about it. And like, coming from somebody who sometimes has a hard time reaching out, do it when you don't want to, because then it sticks, and that's when you grow those relationships. And you also learn to realize that like anything you're feeling, any feeling of like discomfort, like anxiety, like everyone deals with that, whether they say it or not. Like I deal with it, like everyone I know deals with it. Like, find people in your corner, and the more you're open with people, the more you get from them, and then the more you realize like we all share a lot of commonalities when it comes to all this stuff.
That's it. We are strong in numbers as we go on, and you're just one person away. So keep making that impact. What I'll ask Fitz, I haven't asked in a while, but I got one more question and we'll wrap up today.
All right.
If you could tell your younger self, young Joey Fitz, one thing, what would you tell him?
It's going to sound kind of cliche, but I'd say keep going. It's you set out that mindset for yourself, and that young Joey Fitz that has those goals and those aspirations. And the other thing I guess I'd say to myself is that like you can do it. Like you can do this. So when you set those goals for yourself and you have that idea that might look too big, wouldn't think like that at all. I think that whatever you want to accomplish, whatever goal you set out for yourself, you truly can do it. If you believe in it, you surround yourself with the right people, and you keep that mindset, I believe you can set out to do whatever you want in this life.
It doesn't get much more powerful than that.
So
believe in yourself. Your people will feed off that. You'll make an impact. I promise you that. Jackie, anything to wrap us up today? I'm going to let you kind of sign us off here.
No, I just wanted to thank you, Joey, for coming on. You guys just gave me a boost of energy I needed. Anyone that's a connect with the O'Malleys, I know is going to bring the heat, like you said, good people. And Veterans Day weekend, so I just wanted to give a shout out to all of our veteran listeners, whether you're a veteran that's listening or you have a neighbor, brother, father, mother, whatever it may be. But make sure to thank your veterans. I think that's something that's kind of like a disconnect right now between my generation and older generations. You know, I shook a man's hand at my work the other day because I saw his hat and I thanked him for his service. And he looked at me with tears in his eyes and he said, I don't know the last time somebody your age thanked me for their service. And I know it's like sometimes can be like an uncomfortable thing, but like do it. It means a lot to people. And anyone listening that's a family member to a veteran, thank them for their service. We have a big veteran guest coming on in the spring that really excited for. So I just wanted to shout that out this weekend.
I love it. I love it. Shout out all the veterans. I think that's an amazing sign off. And I won't say much more besides Fitz. I think it was a great episode today. I think our listeners are going to get a lot out of it. And I guess I will give you your flowers moment here. Anything else you didn't touch on today that you wanted to touch on? I want to give you that FaceTime.
No, not really. I mean, I had an amazing time. This fired me up. I think it's a great way to start my Sunday, rolling into it now and everything like that, and rolling into next week. But no, I mean, I think we touched on everything pretty good. And again, the one thing is that just whatever you set out for yourself, like you can do it. You just got to truly believe that in yourself and surround yourself with the right people.
Amen, bro. Well, I love this. Love you. I love everyone in here today. And above all else, we got a big Sunday ahead. Let's dominate and let's keep going. All right, guys?
Good. Awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
Love you guys. No, of course, Fitz. You too. Thanks, Jackie. Later,
Love
guys.
you guys too.
Later.